want to ask you about parenting with
Hmm.
a brain injury. I've actually had a number of people in our online support group ask about this, and this is something I have no knowledge on because I'm
Hmm.
not a parent. So,
Yeah.
because I have you on here, and you did mention a little bit earlier with your daughter asking you for help on the homework and things like that,
Yeah.
over the years, so your kids were young when you first had your injury.
Yeah.
What has parenting with a brain injury been like?
It's yeah, my kids were young. They remember my accident, but I'm not sure how much they remember like of what I was like before the accident and what I'm like, how I'm different. I'm sure they recognize a few things, but I think it'd be a lot different. I think if the accident happened when like let's say now my son's 16 and my daughter about to turn 15. I can't I imagine if the accident would have occurred now and there'd been the change, it'd be a little more uh hard of a change for them, a difficult change. The fact that it occurred when they're younger, although it was tough, I'm not saying it was easy on them, but I think the fact that it might have made might have made the changes in me a little bit easier for them to take. But um, they are, I think it's they're very. I think for the most part they're very understanding of things that I have to deal with, and they're accepting. I guess I owe a lot of that to my wife too, because she's really stepped up and um, done amazingly well with uh, handling things that maybe I used to handle in the past that she's kind of had to uh, deal with both, kind of a double up, I guess, as a parent and deal with things that maybe she wouldn't have to before. But and also she's good. I think she does I don't know. I probably don't always hear it because she probably does it without even my knowledge, but just talking to my kids about your dad doesn't deal with that well and be easy on him. I don't know. I know stuff like that goes on behind the scenes that I'm not aware of. So I owe a lot of that to her. But I think that the as a parent with a brain injury, being parenting because of the brain injury, um, I think most of us will have a little shorter fuse than we were before. So we got to be aware of that, and we find ourselves um, getting upset or angry. I think it's important to step away and not just try to deal with it. I mean, just step away. Just tell your kids, like, you know, son or daughter, like, I need to step away. I'm having, you know, I'm going to get angry. I'm going to step away from this and we'll come back and deal with this later on. You know, uh, I think those are a few things I can think of, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
sure there's some other things that's go on, but
Yeah, that's great. What about when you have symptoms and you're tired or fatigued? How do you balance that with showing up for your kids?
yeah, like I mentioned earlier, like the, it wasn't until a couple years ago that I was pretty much, as of now, I take a nap every afternoon, pretty much, whether early in the afternoon, late in the afternoon, because if I don't, by the time my kids come home from school, I'm kind of spent. Um, so I made a decision, like if I'm going to be uh, present with my kids in the evening time, I got to take care of myself. So um, I am pretty. Sometimes I'm almost too like obsessive about it, I guess, that I got to get my nap in because if I don't, then when the kids come home or later this evening, it comes time for dinner time, I'm going to be exhausted and not be present. So um, I've made it a priority to try to get some sort of nap or some sort of rest time in throughout the day, so I can be uh, more present with my kids and my family at night.
And that's great. That's a great strategy too, because you've learned probably the hard way what
Yeah,
you need to do preventatively to help you to be there for your family.
yeah. Like I said, I was kind of in denial. Like I'm only in my late 30s. I don't need to take a nap every day. I mean, when I get older, I can do that. But right as of now, I shouldn't need that. But um, I finally humbled myself and admitted, like, yes, I do. I need to, if I want to be there for my family, and I need to take care of myself. So um, I kind of swallowed my pride and said, all right, nap time. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's great. Learning what helps you is
Uh,
a hard thing. And for those listening too, like Jeff's here almost 10 years out from his injury, and so excuse me, you might be listening and thinking, oh wow, like he really has it together, but I'm sure there were a lot of times earlier on in the journey when you didn't realize you needed a
Yeah.
nap, or
No.
when you weren't able to manage it quite as well. And so for those listening, this is called Hope Survives podcast, right? I just want to
Yeah.
encourage you, like, even if you feel like you're not able to know what works for you now, you will be able to learn over time if you pay attention to your symptoms and you start to try out things that could help you. Everyone has to learn their own kind of rhythm with their own brain injury life.
Sure.
And so, Jeff, you're a great example of somebody who's over the years come to a place where you kind of know what works and you know what doesn't.
Yeah, and as time going forward, even from week to week, I mean, the what works might change too. I mean, there may become a point where I need to start taking a nap in the morning and afternoon. I don't know, or maybe one week I have a little more energy and I don't need a nap. I don't know, but it's just kind of like trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I have found that there one thing I became aware of, and there might be a day where I'm feeling pretty good. Like I don't think I need a nap today, and my wife went out like, what happens when you do this. If you don't take a nap today, like the next few days are going to be not good. So even if you don't feel like you need a nap, maybe you need to go back and lay down and take a break. So she's good at keeping me accountable to keep me where I need to be.
That's great. Through your darkest night, hope survives.